Hello everyone, and welcome to Catching Up with the Clemenses, brought to you by the Mark Twain House and Museum in Hartford, Connecticut. My name's Erin, and I coordinate school programs here at the house.
And I'm Jody. I care for the museum collections here. On this chapter of Catching Up with the Clemenses, we'll answer the question of where the Clemens family got their flowers, fruits, and vegetables.
The Clemens family got most of their fruits and vegetables from local markets here in Hartford. Their grocery bills show us some of their favorite things to eat: blueberries, tomatoes, melons, corn, lima beans, grapes, plums, and lots of fresh summer peaches. They bought these things in the same amounts you would today: quarts, pints, and other small boxes. What kinds of fresh fruits and vegetables do you like to eat? Where do you get them? But other favorite fruits and vegetables came in larger quantities, especially ones that can be kept in a pantry like this, a cupboard, or a cellar for a long time without spoiling. The family bought large quantities of apples, which stay good all winter long when kept in cool places. Connecticut orchards still grow a lot of apples. Are there people who grow fruits and vegetables near where you live? Do you know what they grow? But when we say larger quantities, how much are we really talking about? In January 1881, the family purchased 22 bushels of potatoes from a Mr. H.O. Griswold in West Hartford. But how much is a bushel? Well, this is a peck, another unit of measure for fruits and vegetables. There are 4 pecks in a bushel, so 22 bushels of potatoes is 88 baskets like this, full of potatoes. Each bushel of potatoes would have weighed about 60 pounds, meaning the Clemenses purchased over 1,300 pounds of potatoes at one time. How many different things can you think of to make with that many potatoes?
Since the family often spent the long summer months at the Langdon Farm in Elmira, New York, they didn't have much use for flower gardens here at the house. Though they did have beautiful hanging baskets full of plants and flowers along the porch, much like we do today. We mentioned in the last episode that flowers were a big part of Susie's birthday parties. But if they didn't have a flower garden, where did Susie get all those flowers? And how did they get beautiful flowers in the middle of March, considering this is what it looked like this past March here at the house?
When the Clemens family lived here, there was a large greenhouse on the lawn right here where we're standing, between the Clemens house and the home of Harriet Beecher Stowe, another famous writer. Livy Clemens, Sam's wife, loved having fresh flowers in the house, and her own mother oversaw a number of greenhouses where she lived out in Elmira, New York. Livy and her mother would send plants to each other via train. But Livy didn't do the work of raising and tending everything in the greenhouse herself. The family employed gardeners who specialized in that work. The first gardener who worked for the family was named Daniel Malloy. We don't know much about him, but we do know that Livy Clemens gave him a book called Practical Floriculture. It's basically a really detailed book about how to grow all kinds of flowers. We know Daniel made a lot of notes in his copy, particularly in sections about things like getting roses to bloom in the winter in greenhouses.
The second gardener was a man named John O'Neill. We know much more about him and his wife, Ellen. John grew vegetables in the greenhouse, including corn, but he was particularly well known in Hartford for the beautiful flowers that he grew. In a newspaper article in the Hartford Daily Times in March 1890, a reporter described John's exhibit at the Horticultural Society's flower show.
Mr. John O'Neill, for the past 5 years, gardener for Mr. Samuel L. Clemens, exhibits 6 varieties of pinks, among them the well-known Hartford seedling and the Portia. Both single and double English primroses are among his collection. 3 varieties of English violets mingle their fragrances with the roses near at hand. Among the roses are some beautiful specimens of the Cornelia Cook and the Bride beautiful white roses, a magnificent Pearl des Jardins, rich yellow, the La France, the Catherine des Mermet, and many others. Perhaps the most admired among his collection is a fine specimen of the Sunset Rose. This is luxuriant in size and form, and in color a delicate yellow with rich saffron heart.
The flowers John exhibited were typical of the kind he would have grown in the greenhouse, because you could either cut them and arrange them in vases in the house, like with roses, or grow them in small pots and bring them over when they were blooming, like with primroses, one of Livy Clemens' favorite flowers. Do you have a favorite flower? John was so good at growing flowers that he and his wife Ellen were able to sell extra flowers from the greenhouse. In the photograph here, you can see a small sign near the driveway advertising John's cut flowers. The couple only made around $50 a month as gardeners for the Clemens family, and did not receive room and board like some of the other servants did. So selling flowers from the greenhouse was a great way for them to make some extra money.
In addition to the greenhouse, we know the Clemens family also had flowers here in this flower bed by the carriage house. Known as the carriage turnway, it provided a place for carriages to turn around at the head of the driveway. It would have been filled with bright-colored, sun-loving flowers like zinnias, amaranthus, lobelia, salvia, and periwinkles. Today's recreation of the carriage turnway allows visitors to appreciate the circle of flowers that a horse and buggy would have traveled around when visitors came to call on the Clemens family.
In the next chapter of Catching Up with the Clemenses, we'll be answering the question, where's the toilet paper? Between now and then, we challenge you to visit our virtual tour, explore the Mahogany Suite, and see if you can find the toilet paper. We'll see you next time.
Do you have a question for us? You can send us an email at catchingup@marktwainhouse.org or send us a letter at the Mark Twain House and Museum, 351 Farmington Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut, 06105. Along with your question, tell us your first name, your age, and what city or town you live in. If we feature your question in a future video, we'll be sure to give you a shout out. Don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
We want to keep our educational materials accessible to all, but while these videos are free for you, they're not free for us. If you want to support the creation of Catching Up with the Clemenses videos and other educational programming here at the Mark Twain House Museum, please follow the link in the description below to donate now.